Their name is a lot safer. Neef's rules for changelings. The smell was the first thing I noticed. Foul, cold, and unnatural. It made my eyes water and caught at the back of my throat. I never smelled anything quite like it, not even when a squirrel died in the castle basement. I coughed and breathed through my mouth until I got used to it enough to notice other things, like the cold and the dark, the humming, soft, and even it vibrated in my skull, buzzing a little, like a snore. I quickly started to run through the 10 identifying signs of a closet monster, but couldn't remember any further than the number 6, the smell of old socks. Well, whatever it was better for me to find it than for it to find me first. I began to explore. The floor was hard and cold. The wall on my back was clammy. Over my head, found a row of hooks with clothes and wooden poles hanging from them. One pole had bristles on the end of it and a broom. Another pole ended in damp, sour-smelling ropes, and it made my hands feel greasy and dirty. A mop. I groped along the wall a corner and came to a smooth, cold, tub-like thing with damp, greasy rags hang over the lip. As soon as I touched them, I knew just where the sink was coming from. I stepped backwards, gagging. Something gave unpleasantly under my foot, then jerked sharply away. I lost my balance, falling onto something squishy and lumpy that screeched angrily. I hastily scrambled away from it as soon as I could get, which wasn't very far. "You stepped on me," the closet monster yelled. "That hurt." Given the size of its closet, it had to be small monster, but that didn't mean it wasn't dangerous. Boggarts are small. So many devils. It's not a good idea to annoy one either. "I'm sorry," I said hastily. "I didn't mean to." "You stepped on my hand," it accused. Its voice was loud and flat. "You should watch where you're going." "I can't see in the dark," I said apologetically. "Then you should be more careful." The monster still sounded angry, but it hadn't mentioned grinding my bones to make its bread yet, which was a good sign. The humming got suddenly more intense. "Is that you?" Silence, except for the humming and the rustle that I read as the monster making itself comfortable. "I believe," it said thoughtfully, "that is a compressor of the central air conditioning unit." "Oh," I said. "It is some kind of dragon or something." There was another silence. "You are teasing me," the monster said reproachfully. "I do not like to be teased. Teasing isn't nice." Now, I've spent my whole life learning how to talk to different kinds of folk. Nixies are interested in fish and cute boys. Leprechauns love shoes and gold. Brownies are into household hints. Tricksters like practical jokes. Demons like contest. All the folk I knew about told stories, traded gossip, granted wishes, played games. They never, ever said things like teasing isn't nice. But in Carlyle's surprise wasn't a supernatural, then it wait, sorry. But if Carlyle's surprise wasn't a supernatural, then what was it? "I've never heard of a compressor," I said cautiously. "What's its magic? Is it dangerous?" More silence. "Is this a test?" the surprise asked. "No, I really don't know, and I don't like not knowing things." "Neither do I," the surprise said. "Insufficient data can lead to unfortunate mishaps." "Right," I said, which I figured was a safe thing to say. Will you tell me about the compressor beast, please? Very well, the voice said. And it proceeded to give an explanation in which the words and, the, chill, and air were the only ones that made sense. As the voice went on and on about the flower carbons and the cold producing poisonous magic insects called refrigerator ants. Refrigerator ants. I realized something. Carlyle's surprise was a mortal child. Park folk can be pretty nasty on the subject of mortals, but Astris had always told me the most mortals was perfectly nice. Changelings were mortals, after all. Mortals from outside were fine, too, as long as they have stayed where they belong. Wild mortals in New York, though, were nothing but trouble. They didn't know the rules, and even when they knew them, they usually broke them. Secretly, I always thought it might be fun to meet someone where I didn't know what they were going to say before they opened their mouths. And now, here I was, talking to a genuine wild mortal. Or rather, it was talking to me. Too excited to keep quiet, I broke into a stream of strange words. Are you really, I couldn't call it a wild mortal to its face. A human being? The ugly voice stopped short. Silence filled the darkness, the thick kind that happens when someone is really mad at you. Have I got that wrong? I said uncertainly. I read it in a magazine. I'm a human being too, a mortal changeling. I didn't mean to offend you. Silence, I babbled on nervously. I guess it's a silly question, huh? If you weren't a mortal child, Carlyle wouldn't have stolen you. Carlyle didn't steal me, the mortal child said sulkily. The Carlyle is a hotel. I can see it from my bedroom window. It's also the home of Tengu, who brought you here. You mean the man with the long nose? The Japanese mountain spirit, I corrected. Yes. The mortal ignored me. He said I was a naughty child, it complained. That is not an accurate description of my behavior. Sometimes it is difficult for me to tell whether my behavior is appropriate or not, but I am not naughty. Why did he think you were naughty then? The mortal child was silent a while. It may have had something to do with my father's computer apart, it said at last. I remember when he was very angry when I dismantled his cell phone last summer. However, the situations were not parallel. I dismantled the cell phone out of curiosity. I dismantled his computer so I could repair it. Your father has a computer? Cool. I never seen a mortal computer, of course, but I read Macworld from the front to back 3 times, so I knew more about them than magic computers, which were the realm of tech folk anyway. My father is a software designer, the mortal said. He was the one who taught me to install memory. He should have known that I would not attempt to repair his motherboard if I had not been confident of success. I still do not understand why he's so angry. I got in trouble for doing something I didn't know what was wrong to do. I said, it's so unfair. You were just trying to help your father, and I just want to go to the dance. And now we're stuck in the broom closet waiting to find out if the bunch of boogeyman vote us the naughtiest children in New York. You are teasing me again, the mortal child said reproachfully. Boogeyman do not exist. Mitchiko made them up. And I am 12 years old. I am a pre-adolescent, not a child. I sat up in the darkness. What do you mean the boogeyman doesn't exist? What's Carl then? Carl is a nightmare. Nightmares are horses, I explained. Carl is a boogeyman. They're not alike at all. Who is Mitchiko? Mitchiko looks after me. She is from Japan. She says that the funny man who lives on top of the Carl Hotel will come and get me if I do not go to bed when she tells me to, whether I am sleepy or not. Well, Michiko was right. That's exactly what he did. I told you, the mortal child said. The funny man is a figment of Michiko's imagination. I am having a bad dream because Michiko shouted at me. I do not like people to shout at me. I was beginning to understand why Michiko had shouted. Are you all mortals? Wait, are all mortals like you? I asked. No, the mortal said. I am very intelligent, but I have difficult relating to people. When I was younger, I had a therapist who helped me develop social skills. For instance, when I meet someone, I'm supposed to say, "How do you do? My name is Jennifer Goldhish Harshit." I don't know. How do you do? The last two words hit me like a wave of freezing water. Don't say that. What did I say? Your name. The mortal was quiet for a moment. Why not? She asked at last. So it's a she. I gotta give it a she now. I gotta give it a she voice, and my acting is not so great. Somebody might be listening. What would be wrong with that? I tried to imagine explaining the most important rule of survival in New York between to a mortal child who didn't believe in boogeymen were real. Never mind, just never say that name out loud again, ever. I do not understand, the mortal child said. I like my name. It creates a pleasing image. Jennifer means white wave, and Goldhirsch means golden stag. I didn't care what mortal's name meant. I just never wanted to hear it again. Not because I didn't like it. I did. It was my name too. My true name. Almost the only thing I remembered before I came to live in Estrus. To came and live with Estrus. It was a horrible coincidence that another mortal had it too. I knew names worked differently outside. Probably there were hundreds of Jennifers and even Goldhirsches. So the power got diluted. But in the New York between, I was it. Pretty, I said, thinking. Oh, shoot. Pretty, I said, thinking fiercely how I could keep the other Jennifer from blabbering our name all over the place. Listen, you said this was a dream, right? I believe it is, said the mortal child. Yes. What is this one? Yes. Well, you know how in dreams the rules are different from when you're awake. She considered this. Yes. In the dream, the rule about names is that you don't tell them to anybody at all. Why not? Bad things will happen. What kind of bad things? Do you go to jail? I didn't ask what jail was. Worse. Anyway, you can't use your real name. For example, everyone calls me Neef. It's my dream name, see? Neef is a silly name, she said. I gritted my teeth. Neef is not my name, I said as patiently as I could. It's what you can call me. You need a dream name too. Are you referring to a nickname? I already have a nickname. Mom calls me Jenny. I shivered as if refrigerator ants were crawling up my back. That's not a made up enough. What color is your hair? What color is your hair? Brown. So is mine. That's no good. I can't call you Brownie if you aren't one. Let me think. What about Closet? Closet is not my name. I thought up a couple more names, but she nixed all of them. We were arguing over MC for Mortal Child when the wall behind us opened. Carlisle appeared, all dressed up in formal kimono, with his long nose twitching with eagerness. "And now, here it is," he projected over his shoulder, "the moment you've been all waiting for. I present to you the naughtiest children in New York. Come on, you two. It's showtime."